in LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology in Department of Electronics and Communication. This is a video regarding microwave engineering. In this video, you are going to learn about transmission waveguide, rectangular waveguide, and the circular waveguide. This is the part 1 of this. So friends, we have learned about what is the microwave, what are the applications of the microwave. So friends, in the microwave, the frequency that is in the gigahertz. So this gigahertz frequency that can travel the larger distance. So as you know about this, it is the high frequency wave. But now, how to transmit this all frequency? So that will come in this part. So that is why a waveguide that will do the same job of transmission of the microwave signals. So now the microwave which the transmission lines usually do at the relatively low frequency. A microwave that is more convenient to talk in terms of the electric and the magnetic field rather than the voltage and the current. Here we are not measuring the voltage and current, but how the electromagnetic wave will travel through the space, through the particular media that we are going to discuss. In a waveguide, electric and the magnetic field, they are confined within the hollow space of the guide, and thus no power is lost during the radiation. So that can be the advantage of using this. So question is, what is a waveguide? The waveguide, that's a hollow conductor which through the microwave signals can pass. So here the few examples of the waveguide you can see. These are the rectangular waveguide and the circular waveguide. There are two types of the waveguide: rectangular waveguide, circular waveguide. More commonly, the rectangular waveguide that is used. Here in the figure A, the rectangular waveguide is shown. In the figure B, the circular waveguide is shown. In the figure C, you can see that the hollow conductor, having the permittivity epsilon r. In the circular waveguide, the hollow conductor, having the inner conductor, the permittivity is epsilon r1, r2, and outer conductor that is having the permittivity, it is epsilon r1. Now, what is there? In this, the air is there. So due to the air being the dielectric that fills the hollow region in the guide, and the dielectric loss is negligible. So if we choose the metal having the good conductivity like copper for constructing waveguide walls, then the conductor losses or the ohmic losses at the guide walls are also negligible. For your information, sometime in the inner wall of the waveguide that is made up with the gold, so that there is no radiation loss, and all the signals that is reflected from the inner wall and traveling through the space. So according to the application, this may choose. So this waveguide act as a lossless medium of transferring the microwave signals from one point to the another point. So what is the waveguide? Waveguide is a hollow conductor. It is act as a lossless medium for what? For transferring the microwave signals from the one point to the another point. A waveguide is nothing conducting tube through which the energy is transmitted in form of EM wave, electromagnetic waves. It can be considered to be a boundary which confines the walls to the space enclosed by the boundary walls. So analysis of this irregularly shaped waveguides, that becomes difficult. How can we say that how the signals are transmitted, what amount of the signal is transmitted? So, types of the waveguide. So, rectangular waveguide, I say it's more popular. Rectangular waveguide, that is characterized by its a wide dimension and narrow dimension. In the diagram you can see the wide dimension, that is the A, and the narrow dimension, that is the B. So this is what the rectangular waveguide, where with the dielectric medium, which is having the less loss. Circular waveguide. Circular waveguide is characterized by the internal diameter, and here in the diagram you can see that the internal diameter, that is D. Now, how the signals are transmitted through the waveguide? So that is why the waveguide modes we need to learn. What is the waveguide mode? So that would be in general infinite number of possible electric and the magnetic field configurations inside the waveguide. If there is no upper limit for the frequency of the signal. So each of this field configuration, that is referred to as a mode. There are two types of the mode. One is TM mode, another one is the TE mode. TM mode is the transverse magnetic mode, and TE mode, that is the transverse electric mode. So now, what is the TM mode and what is the TE mode? So we'll see over here the TM mode versus the TE. In the TM mode, the magnetic lines are electrically transverse to the region or to the direction of the propagation of EM wave. Opposite in the TE wave, the electric wave in the TEM mode, are entirely transverse to the direction of the propagation. So in the TM mode, magnetic lines are directly proportional. In the TE mode, the electric field lines are the transverse to the direction of the propagation. In the TM mode, the electric field has a component in that direction, and in the TE mode, the magnetic field has a component along the direction of the propagation. So here we can keep the note in the mind that the TE and the TM are designed with the two subscripts, that are M and N. What is that? So the first subscript indicates the amount, the number of the half variations in the electric field of the electric field. Number of half variations of the electric field in the wide dimension of the waveguide. Whereas the second subscript, that is the N, which indicates the variation along the narrow direction. So half variation in the wide direction, half variation in the narrow dimension. So we need to keep in mind every time we are writing TMNN, TENN, TE10, TM10. What is the meaning of the subscript? Small m, the variation, half variation of the electric field in the wide dimension of the waveguide, and 0, that is the no variation, no half variation along the narrow direction. So now, here in the diagram, you can see that over here, this is the diagram of what? That how the electric lines are appear, how the magnetic lines are appear in case of the microwave transmission line in the waveguide. So here in the first mode, you can see that the TE mode. Okay, so in the TE mode, we can see that how the magnetic flux line there appear as a continuous loop, and electric flux lines appear with the beginning and the end points. Okay, so you can see that what is the position of the electric field and the magnetic field in the rectangular waveguide. Similarly, you can see in the second diagram, it is about the TM mode. TM mode in that the magnetic line appeared as a continuous loop, okay, and you can see that the electric mode, okay, electric flux lines, okay, they are in the direction of the propagation TM line, okay. So this way we can see in the diagram. Now here is the one by one diagram of the each mode. The first mode you can see that our wide dimension B and the narrow dimension A. TE10. You can see that the half variation we can found, okay, in the wide dimension. TE20. TE20 में two half variation. Here you can see that the first half variation and the second half variation. In the second diagram, TE30. So three half variation. So while the diagram you are drawing, you have to keep in mind the subscript description, and it shows you that how you can get the variation in the narrow dimension and the wide dimension. This is the another diagram of the TE mode, okay, in case of the rectangular waveguide. So TE10, you can see that how we are getting the half wave variation. In this diagram, TE20, how we are getting this. TE11, meaning the both the dimension you are getting the variation, half wave variation. Okay, so this is the diagram of showing this. This is the diagram for the circular waveguide. Okay, and the subscript are there but don't carry the same meaning. In the rectangular waveguide, you know that okay, there are the two dimension, narrow dimension and the wide dimension. Here, in case of the circular waveguide, only one dimension, that is the D. So you can see that the D variation, okay, that how we are getting the fluctuation, okay, or how the variations that we are getting in terms of the circular waveguide. So how the electric field and the magnetic field, they are moving in the loop, okay. So you can see in this diagram. So this is about the basics of the rectangular waveguide, the circular waveguide and the modes, okay. So we'll see about many more for the rectangular and the circular waveguide, okay, in the next video. Keep watching LJIET Electronics and Communication for more updates on the microwave engineering. So thank you very much everyone.